Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Um, on your end, you seem to be muted, so I'm not sure if you're muted for YouTube and everyone else as well.
Can you hear us now?
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Echo now. Hi there, Andrew.
No, your sound needs to be off.
Okay, try this. Can you hear us, Andrew?
Yes, I can hear you all now.
Okay, great, sorry. So we are on the consent agenda and we had a
Okay.
motion to approve by Tina, second by Larry, no members of the public, so all those in favor. Are we able to do that until Nisa arrives or do we still have to do roll call?
We have a quorum.
Lisa's gonna join by Zoom at 1:45.
So can we just do hands until, can we just do a show of hands until
Yeah,
she
so
arrives?
when Nisa does join remotely, we'll have to do roll call votes.
Okay, so for now, all those in favor, please say hi.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, abstentions, motion carries 4 and 1 absent. We'll go to my update. Just wanted to thank you all, those who were able to attend, especially for the housing symposium. I hope that you found that informative. It seemed like it. We got some good feedback from folks. I think folks appreciated also having the school board members there. And then the organizers were actually appreciative that we got involved because it enabled them to reach out to all of our cities, which is critical in terms of the regional housing measure. So great partnership, I think, and hope we can continue to do more things like that. I heard one of our members thought that was very productive. And
Our mayor from Morgan Hill, he really enjoyed the symposium and thought this is the kind of thing that Cities Association should do more of. So it's nice to get feedback.
Second item, I realized we're getting close to the end of the year, so I believe as president, I need to appoint a nominating committee for next year's slate of officers. I will do that and announce it at our meeting in September. I'll ask folks to join the committee and have that hopefully ready for the next meeting. I believe we then call out for interested parties, announce the slate in October, and then vote in November, because December will be no meeting, just the holiday party. And then the holiday party, so that is coming up in December already, and so we will be meeting Christina, Shelley, and I to talk about plans. If you have any ideas, please feel free to suggest them. But usually it's held in the city of the president, so we'll be looking for some place to give. Any questions? Any members of the public?
Oh, there's one member of the public, Zane. I think Zane just joined us,
Oh, okay.
but his hand is not raised.
Okay, great. We'll go on to item 3. We have a speaker request from Sarah Duffy. And Shelley, would you like?
Yeah, so I'm sorry that if it didn't print properly, but I brought extra copies if you want to see. Sarah, you might remember this from August. She had requested to speak at our August meeting. What she has to present is very time sensitive because these are childcare grants for the city. And our October meeting would have been too late. So she is coming, as well as Paul Murphy from Valley Health Foundation. They're both going to speak. And in your packet, you'll see the flyer that Sarah is going to hand out to everyone, as well as Sarah's bio. So I would like to request if we could approve her request to speak.
Take a vote on that,
I
or?
don't think so.
Just
Just
say
setting up
yes.
the agenda, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's one more thing, but we can discuss it. Andrew, if you think it's appropriate to discuss in future meeting topics. It didn't come to my attention till yesterday, but our planning collaborative would like to give an update on their 6-month work plan and also the Nexus study, which the City Association is going to be the contract. We'll hold the contract for that.
Okay.
So that's very exciting. So that I didn't put it in the agenda, Andrew, but
Next October, maybe?
for October, but if we could squeeze them in September, I think. If
Oh,
we give Sarah 15 minutes and give the planning collaborative 15 minutes.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that, Charlie. What
so
was the issue?
So I forgot to put on the agenda that our planning collaborative would like to give an update on their 6-month work plan, what they've been up to date and what they're going to be doing for the next 6 months. And that also includes the Nexus study for which the Cities Association is going to hold the contract. And I thought that that might be a nice update to have before our full board starts discussing the JPA. So
oh, yeah.
so so then I thought maybe we give Sarah 15 minutes and we give the planning collaborative 15 minutes.
Oh, so okay, got it. There's a second request.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
understood.
Well, I think that's fine, 15 minutes, and then if there's ever follow-up, we can have them come back in
Oh, yeah,
October.
definitely.
There probably will be questions, but we'll see.
Yes.
I was just thinking of that.
Yeah, right. I was just thinking 15 minutes probably not gonna be enough for them, but that's okay. Well, they can just come and start the discussion and then we
Oh,
can
yeah.
bring them back in October if there's more
Okay,
questions.
thank you.
Anything else?
Not for that.
We'll go on to any public comment on item 3? Nope.
And Zane left.
We'll go to item 4, reviewing our September meeting agendas. So the LAC is first.
Okay. So what's listed there is fine. I was talking to Nisa and someone from Cal Cities might be, wants to speak. So whatever we can, so let's just go ahead and add. And she was supposed to tell me who that person was, but didn't give me that info beforehand. But let's just put a placeholder for Cal Cities and I'll get back to you before we publish the agenda.
So session will end the next day.
So we should have some good idea on what's been passed and what's not, what's heading to the governor's desk. Although that next day they stay until midnight, so, or later,
Yeah.
depending upon what happens. So who knows? There'll be definitely some bills that will still be in progress, so, but I'm sure, Cal Cities will at least tell us what's failed, what's been pushed till next year, and I think that's, I think that'll be the most valuable portion of the discussion, just to get that bigger view of
Sure.
what big bills are now on the governor's desk that we might want to advocate for.
Yeah.
So,
And I'll update the bill watch list,
yes.
and that will be in that packet. Would you like the guest speaker before or after item 3?
Let's do it before, because, people, and keep in mind when you distribute it at the beginning of the week, by the end of the week, it'll be different anyway, so, so I think it's important for us to talk about what's there, but I think having the general discussion from Cal Cities has a lot more value.
Okay.
Anything else on the LAC? All right, we'll go to our board meeting. So in the packet, I see, we just did the consent agenda, president update, speaker request, so we'll add the planning collaborator. I guess I'll just say speakers for the, and then 4 we don't have to do. I think this was maybe the executive.
Oh, no, we wanted, at the September board meeting, we wanted to talk to all of our board members about the JPA document
Oh.
and let them know that we've spoken to the city managers and that the executive board is willing and able to come to their study sessions or their city councils. Because I guess it's also a vote. Sorry, Andrew, number 4 is also a vote because our board has to vote to move the document forward to their cities.
So in the packet you have, it looks like it's actually a copy of the exec board
Oh,
agenda.
yes. Yeah, I updated that, but,
Oh, okay.
yeah, sorry, see, so this is the right one.
Updated, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. So So 5 moves up to 4. On here it's
Wait, I'm
5.
sorry,
Oh,
Sally.
yeah.
So for the JP item, were you just clarifying that'd be a discussion and possible action item?
Yes.
Is that, okay,
Yes.
thank you.
And do I need to make a note on here that it's an action item as well? On the,
Yeah, I mean, just keep the options open. It's probably easier just to do the discussion and possible action.
So discussion plus possible action, using keep options open.
Yes.
And so the city managers meeting is the prior day? That's the one we
no.
discussed last time.
well,
When
no,
is that?
because yes, sorry, you are correct. It always is. This year, they're doing a joint meeting with the San Mateo County City Managers Association. So it's a little bit more of a social meeting. It's not a meeting.
Are we on the agenda for that? No, okay.
I was invited to go, so I was gonna
Uh-huh.
go.
But we're not talking about the
No.
JPA. Okay.
Right, exactly. Should I announce that?
So when do we get their feedback from the city managers?
So we met with them in August. We went to their meeting with Jani and Nisa, Shali, and myself. We got a lot of questions there, but and then I don't know if we got any more
We-
written feedback, but we. Nisa, we're just talking about what we did on the
JPA.
JPA in our city managers meeting visit. And so we presented the packet, presented them our timeline, asked them to talk to their representatives on the city association, and then we told them our plan was to present to the board in September and potentially take action to vote to approve the JPA document. And if it does get approved, asking each city to agendize it on their city council meetings. And we actually started to take dates. They requested that one of us be there to be the presenter of the agenda item if it's possible. So we're in that process now of them scheduling on your city council meetings.
Got it.
And then once they tell us what days they have it on, we could divide, or we could maybe divide up the cities. Today was my hope.
Oh, that's later in the agenda.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So that's why that table of council meetings.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I was, so when did this happen? Because
August, what
Ninth.
day was it?
August 9th?
Yes.
because I need to follow up with my city manager.
Yes.
I've been meeting him every Monday, but it hasn't come up.
Okay.
That's the reason I wanted to ask you very specifically, because I remember our prior meeting in August, this group's meeting, we were talking of making sure that you are able to go to the city managers meeting before the city's association board of directors meets.
And we did update the JPA document. I think Jani just sent it just before she left. So an updated JPA document will be sent as part of, to all of our board members
For the 14th meeting.
for the 14th meeting.
And they were just a minor, like, you know, it's like, if we don't have all 15, but we have, I think it was 9 cities, and we would function with a executive board of 3. And then when we got to, I believe, 11, we would get to 5. So we just worked that out. City managers, I remember they had a couple of questions. One was about dispute resolution. So it was in the case of like the executive director, any of our contractors or employees, if there was what is the process to like file a complaint, and what would be the process to respond to that? So I think we've talked about putting that into our bylaws. So once we finish the JPA document, we actually need to go back and revise the bylaws too. So that seemed more appropriate to put it in the bylaws. And there was one more, I can't remember the other question they had, but
So the two things they wanted us to clarify were one, put stronger language that the executive director is an independent contractor, and also make it clear that we don't plan to buy property as an association.
Yes, we're very concerned about the property acquisition.
We're gonna take over.
They don't want us to take Sunnyvale to City Hall, I guess.
I am just crazy, okay?
So, yes. So those are like the main
Yeah.
two.
It was very minor.
Uh, um,
Very minor.
Yeah, so I've seen more promising. I think it could, yeah. And then we did get a few who, like, Palo Alto wanted us to present actually next Monday at their meeting, but we decided we should vote on it first and make sure our board approves it before we have it on the city council agenda, so.
And I told the Palo Alto city manager at Chicada that was kind of hold off on scheduling us because he wanted us to come tomorrow. No, sorry, next Tuesday. But when I told him that the process is that our board has to vote to forward the document, he said, "Sounds good. Can I forward that to the other city managers?" And I was like, "Sure." So like, they know what our process is. But we do have, and we'll get to that agenda item, but City of Santa Clara already has a date for us. But we can discuss that.
Thank you, this is helpful to talk about this current item, weekly update.
And do you have a deadline that the city should put on the agenda?
Yeah, so it has to be in the months of September and October because our board meets on November 9th. I put it on that paper.
Okay.
14th, no, wait a second. When is our, sorry, I put it on here.
Isn't this the meeting?
No, our board has to vote on it November 9th.
November 9th.
That's our November board meeting. So,
Oh, November, I'm so sorry.
no, that's okay, no, that's okay. No. September, our board votes to
Yeah.
forward it to their, yeah.
Right.
And then November, we will have the final vote to approve it.
November 9th, yeah, I'm hearing you correctly now.
Okay.
And we were told by city managers that might be tight, and we understand that. And I explained to them the challenges, like every time we roll it over to the new year, we sometimes have to essentially start over because we have new board members, so that was just to get this done this year. But in all frankness, I think that the fact that we have at least presented this and all council members will have seen it at some point now that it's out there. Hopefully the reps will, share and the city managers will share with everyone. It won't be, if we had to roll it over into January, it wouldn't be like starting over, hopefully, so yeah. But I think we could get it done by then.
So what city managers have right now is the version that these association board of directors will see on the 14th of September.
No, so,
More changes.
so there's,
Okay.
so the updated version, I forwarded that to Ed to forward to the other city managers.
Okay.
I think that's the proper process. What our board will see is the updated one that. So our board will see the one that has the city manager stuff incorporated.
Any questions on the document itself or the process? If not, if you could turn to the page that has the schedule of all the council meetings. I was hoping we could assign cities if possible. And
Before you move on, so is the board of directors agenda okay the way it is?
yes.
The final.
roll call for that roll call.
Oh, yeah, because we have to accept, yeah.
Is there a motion to approve the agendas for the LAC and the board meeting?
Yes, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion, any members of the public?
Zane there is a member of the public, but his hand is not raised.
And
Oh, yes, Lisa.
Larry, I'm just seeing your message. Did we add the CBRT?
Yes.
Okay, and I will have a speaker.
Okay, So that's, so can they, for LAC, how much are they going to cover? Sorry, we're rolling back.
You tell me how much time you want to give them on your agenda and I'll communicate that to them. But I know they're trying to push this out to as many groups as possible.
Okay, we'll talk after this meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we good then to take a roll call vote?
Abekoga,
Aye.
Flagger,
Yes.
Klein,
Aye.
Wei,
Aye.
Wyatt.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
So going back to the JPA discussion, if it's possible to assign out these cities, that would be great. And I think there's 5 of us, 15 cities, so if we all took 3 or 2 more in addition to our own city, we would have everything covered. I did run into Chappie Jones and mentioned to him we might want to recruit him, and he said, he's definitely, I mean, he's available, so I will follow up with him, and I thought maybe that might be helpful for San Jose. So yes, so the other remaining cities need to be divided up, and based on the schedule and your interest, if you have any cities you'd like to go to, that would be great if we could assign. And then Shelley, you could cover any that we aren't able to get to.
Two things. One is, besides our own city council, the other 2 cities, what approach should we take? Secondly, I'm sorry, I didn't realize we were going, I don't have my schedule.
Oh, that's okay.
Are we doing it right now? Because I won't be able to say which ones we schedule.
I guess we could do would you mind doing a poll then?
Sure. I mean, so these are the dates, and I can put them in a different format, and we can do it via email, I think.
Okay.
If you would
Yeah.
just tell me.
The question is, what's listed here is dates also before our next meeting? So it could only happen after the 14th, assuming, and it's also making the assumption that from a noticing standpoint, that we're meeting all the noticing issues. So, as much as we have September dates listed here,
Yeah,
the majority of them probably wouldn't work
Before
because we need to first approve it at our board meeting, and then it needs to agendize it and be submitted.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So there's timing things in here that some might work, but
So it
anyway.
looks like October. You have to do all of this in October.
Yeah, I'm afraid that might be the case.
It depends on the city. So Los Altos' meeting is September 26th.
Yes.
And so assuming the board approves moving it to the councils on the 14th, we would be able to agendize it on the 26th.
Right. There's a few that are fine. There's a few that is cutting it tight. No, I agree.
And Shelley, I apologize if you already mentioned this earlier, but are you and Andrew and Janie still working on a draft staff report? That's one of the things the city managers had asked us for, a draft staff report that they can all use for this agenda item.
Yes. We are working on it. I think Janny had said that we'll do one if it's a study session and one if it's a city council meeting. So actually, the dates that you see here are only city council meeting dates.
Right. And as we know, a study session isn't necessary. We're not requiring it, but there may be a couple cities that choose to do it.
Have you heard that request from any cities so far? Study session?
Palo Alto.
Palo Alto wanted to hold a study session.
Santa Clara?
Santa Clara, it's their meeting night, October 10th.
Okay.
So they want us to come that night.
Yeah. Cupertino, Hung, your city manager. I think after Ed mentioned that he would definitely do a study session for Palo Alto, she said she may need to do one for Cupertino. So maybe that's something you need to check in with her on. But again, it's not required. You could go straight to a council meeting.
I'll even say my city manager took even one more step further and said it's gonna be on our consent calendar. way, if you feel, if your council feels comfortable enough with this.
Anything I need to know about Saratoga from that meeting?
I don't think James was there.
Oh, August 9th, yeah, he may have been on vacation. And Leslie wasn't there either, the assistant city manager?
I don't know what she looks like.
That may be why we haven't talked about this in my weekly meetings with James. He may have come.
Honestly, ideally, and I'm sorry if I'm cutting anybody off, sometimes I can't tell if someone's talking. Ideally, since Mountain View, Sunnyvale, and Los Altos have their council meetings on the 26th and we're all here, it'd be great if, we can start checking cities off, saying 3 have said yes, or, going down the list.
I think we could do ours.
So basically, there are 10 cities we need to divvy up.
Yes.
5 of us represent 5 different cities. And
So we just need to take 2 more each.
The only question is, it's a little odd
yeah,
to present to your own city, so whether or not the city so
Oh.
I'll be very honest, it's like,
Oh.
that would be
Oh,
out of order
really?
in most cities, I would assume, if you're the executive body, if you're the judicial body, and I'll throw this back to Andrew. It would be odd for you to take the stage. Now, whether or not if your city manager's presenting it from
Yes.
a city standpoint and you're there as an advisor or giving the city's association opinion, it's worthwhile. Conceivably, though, you might want someone else from the city's association to come in front of you to answer the general questions, and the person on the board, the person on the council to give additional color. My take.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly understand the concern, but I think that's maybe a sort of a council by council decision. I don't think it's a legal conflict of interest, but if it just certainly feels awkward, I would certainly defer to the council member in question. But by the same token, I think the council member can also provide the most information and insight as well. So sometimes it is useful for the city association member to be the presenter. But again, I think that's sort of a council by council decision. It just may create more coverage needs, of course.
Yes.
We have had it where councils members would present items that they initiated. But like in this case, my thought would be that staff would present it, but then I would be there to answer questions.
Right, and I'm assuming that would be the case. It's just, it's one thing to go to another council. It's making sure with your city manager that staff that they're on board.
Yeah.
Ultimately, and then
Right.
are they presenting it, or whether or not it's maybe even consent. I need to talk to my city manager to see if that's viable. Yeah.
And that's my recollection too, Margaret. The idea is the city manager or staff would present it, and the 3 cities that we're assigned to, we would just be there as the point person if questions come up.
Yes.
I do like that, Nisa, and Larry, I completely agree. I'm glad you brought that up. Because I'm just thinking of it now, if I were to present and then say, hey, I'm one of the 5 votes, which is exactly what my role there is. It all starts with my city, my elected official.
Yeah. And so it would be a weird operational thing from a council standpoint.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
just my take on it.
Thank you.
Sally, so when I'm just tracking the conversation, this has to go to the board on the 14th for approval. For Mountain View to agendize this even on our consent agenda for the 26th, we need the staff report on the 15th, Friday the 15th, because we pack it for the 26th on the 21st, so it has to go through our internal agenda packet review process. So we would need it no later than the 15th.
Same for Los Altos, Shali.
Okay.
So the 26th may still be tight for some cities based on their packeting, so it may have to be pushed out to like the first meeting in October.
I think the majority of them will have to be in October, because
Yeah.
I'm just guessing, but yeah, I think all of our cities have that time frame of review and print and distribution and all that, so.
And so we need the information a week before the meeting.
or more. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
10 days or so.
So then what I'll do is I'll keep the staff report ready. So as soon as you all vote, assuming you vote yes to move it, I can send it out that night or first thing Friday morning.
With any tweaks needed. I think that's a
Right,
great
with any
idea.
tweaks needed.
Yeah, and the second thing I would request is based on what we are just talking about, that wherever we are, whether our own city council or another city council, it would be good to have some talking points to think of the basic questions. So we are giving the same consistent answers in different cities. I may end up using a word that may imply something else versus what we as a team may have discussed. So I think that would be very beneficial.
So that will go on, well, between you and Andrew, coming up with those talking points so that we're not breaking the Brown Act.
Perfect.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm thinking now. You got me thinking.
Exactly that, because I was gonna bring up talking points too, because, at least Nisa and Margaret have been like out there trying to sell this to some degree, but it'd be good to have, let's say, what you've learned or what topics or what, here's the elevator pitch of why this is important, and then conceivably where we get caught in the weeds sometimes. And not that we'll be able to cover everything, but hopefully, yeah. Hopefully with the person in the room and maybe you on the line.
Yeah.
So I think that's also important, if possible. You're remote, not that you have to come to these meetings, but remote connected to the meeting in case a question comes up, so that they're like, oh, it's like, yes, and then you have your 3 minutes or whatever from a public comment or well, I don't know whether it's better to.
I mean, I'm happy to show up in person.
Yeah, I know.
The only nights I can't do it are my school board meeting nights, but
Understood, but
yeah.
it's the question of, it's like also, is it worth your while just to not spend an entire evening at our councils? Not that we don't want you there, but it's like, I think that might be better for your time, just to be a remote participant, assuming everybody's doing hybrid. Everyone's doing hybrid.
And the city manager's questions, I think it forms a good backbone of like FAQs for our website eventually. So,
Actually, yeah, and actually, from that standpoint, the talking points, might as well publish them and, put them, right.
Oh, I like that. That way, other 4 city council members, even in our cities, and then we have 10 other cities, so everybody can read those.
It could be part of the packet,
Yeah.
With the
the
staff
city
report,
manager questions?
the staff report packet. Mhm.
oh, I like that. Good catch.
And I don't know, Shally, did you share your cover letter with the executive team?
This team over here?
Right.
Oh, no, I think it was only you and Margaret and Jenny and Andrew.
I think that cover letter is a good, because it's factual. It's stating it's a good summary for an elevator pitch.
Thank you.
I'll forward that
That
around
would
to
be good.
everybody.
Yeah. Okay, so, would you mind, Shally, putting out?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Cities and asking for availability. I realized too, Gilroy is no longer a member, so we will not need to
Yeah.
go to them,
I
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put them on here for just the sake of putting them on here, but what my plan was, when I send the board packet out, I'd like to send it early so that people can start reading those questions. I was gonna send it to Mayor Blankley in Gilroy,
Right.
just kind of as a FYI, as well as to her city manager, keep them in the loop.
I think what we would do is, if we approve the JPA, then after that, we would invite Gilroy to join.
And then I was thinking on September 15th, the day after our meeting, assuming that we vote to move this document forward, I'd like to email the city managers and tell them that our board voted to move forward. And if you could please help me start agendizing this.
Right. And also, if you don't mind the suggestion, just responding to Larry's question, you may want to get their thoughts about who would be an appropriate presenter
Oh, okay.
or representative, I guess, of the cities association.
Yeah.
Larry, I hope that's not overstepping, but
No, makes total sense.
yeah.
Okay. Then do you want me to hold, when would you like me to send you like the list of city council meetings? Because, should I wait till I hear back from the city managers? Because ideally, what I'd like to do is send them the staff report, like send everything to them, right? So if they want to just schedule a study session on September 26th, to do that. Yeah, so when do I wouldn't have the dates. Really.
Can we just do a rough straw poll, just go down the city, Shali, and see if anybody is interested in covering that city or if the date doesn't work for anybody?
Okay. So Campbell would be October 3rd or October 17th.
Oh, yeah, I think that's
We
what
don't
we
have the
wanted
schedule.
to send out.
Oh, that's, you want to do it that way. Okay.
I don't have my
Oh,
schedule.
right, 'cause you don't
I
have
didn't
your-
realize.
Sorry.
So that's why it's a straw poll. It's just the cities because someone may object to doing a certain city for a non-date reason.
I don't know why that would be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was looking, I'll take Morgan Hill, and I think I can do Campbell, and maybe even Milpitas. I can't do Santa Clara because we meet that day, so
Yeah,
it's
we
just like that kind of polling.
Right. I think that's the biggest thing is just to see who's conflicted. And then when we narrow it down to who's available on specific evenings, then you can reach out to those people and say, okay, I'm down to, here's, the 2 or 3 people that can make it that evening and which one who wants it first or who wants it most?
Can't do Campbell.
Larry, do you want Palo Alto?
So I'll tell you Palo Alto, that's one of the ones that I worry about because they push back a little harder than the other cities.
Okay. Possibly. Let me look at dates. It all goes down to dates is the problem. It's so many other things going on.
Yeah, so if you could just send out that
Yeah.
query to us, that would be helpful.
Okay.
I know, right?
Maybe we need more
Yeah,
than
the
one
tag
person
team
there
that
for
one, yeah.
Palo Alto.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The new city manager in Milpitas is very friendly to us. I think he's like, yeah.
And I met the Los Altos Hills city manager yesterday. He's a Mountain View resident.
Oh,
Yeah.
Who's that?
Peter Bernashad?
New one too?
Yeah. Oh, I'll come to Los Altos.
I didn't know he was new.
No, he's not new.
Oh, he's not new? Oh, he's
I
not
was
new.
there a little while, but yeah.
He's new-ish.
Okay. He lives in Mountain View. Ours lives in Sunnyvale. Yeah.
Oh, she does?
She does?
Lives in
I
Sunnyvale.
thought she was further up.
No, she used to work in
that's
there,
right.
but she lives in she lives on
So
Front
Margaret, is that it for this
I
agenda
think
item?
so.
Because I think
Right?
I sent,
Everything good?
This was a good discussion to put pieces together.
No, it's coming together. Yeah, I know, it's like, not until we cross the line, but we're getting there, inching away.
Shali, the only one I know I can't do is Santa Clara.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that one might be tricky.
I could do that,
Oh,
possibly. So if it's no, never mind, the 10th, sorry.
it might be at
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, we're all meeting the same
That
evening.
meets on we meet on Mondays, but we meet on Mondays or Tuesdays?
Meeting Tuesday.
Tuesdays?
Unless Monday is a holiday, we meet on Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
So so every, the first and third Tuesday.
Oh,
But
okay.
they're the
Oh,
opposite,
we're
so
two
yeah.
and four, so,
Yes,
okay.
normally,
Got it.
plus a whole bunch of extras.
Okay. Anything else on this item? Any members of the public with hands raised?
Nope, there's no members of.
Great. We'll move on to 6, future meeting topics.
So, one of the ones I did discuss with you is the planning collaborative. And because our September meeting is pretty heavy with the JPA, I was able to move Supervisor Simidian to November.
Okay.
So he'll come and speak in November. I have tried many times to get a hold of Evan Lowe's person, Lucy Koo.
Lucy no longer works there.
Oh, she doesn't? That's why she hasn't gotten back to
You
me.
should just call Patrick.
Patrick, okay. Because he really wants to come and speak to us.
Okay. Do you want to put him in October or November?
Whatever you think.
I can ask.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize that Lucy. I'll ask Patrick. And then I'm gonna follow up with the Department of Public Health. They had mentioned wanting to do something with us in the fall.
Let's try it the
Yeah,
summer.
exactly.
And then, yes, I had some messages that the county may want to be coming to talk about our wage stuff policy. So we have one in Mountain View. I don't know if you have one in Sunnyvale, but they're looking for all the counties to look at passing a wage theft policy. So that may come in, I'm hearing maybe November. And then we had our committees that we just never really got to engage. I think, we covered sustainability at the annual dinner. We covered housing in a sense with the
Yeah.
symposium. I think
Covered guns.
We covered guns, although I wanted to do a follow-up on that. And then the mental health was our last item, so we could find a speaker on
The
that.
mental health. Do you want me to contact the county and see if they can do a part 2 to the guns?
I was actually looking at, there's, the Gifford Center has, I think that they have, there's a list of the different gun ordinances. We have it, and I'm trying to locate it, but which cities have passed which ones? And I wanted to get that rundown to share with the board, and then see which ones still need to be worked on, and maybe come up with some consensus on which ones we'd like to try to get all the cities to pass.
Yes, it will be good to have that joint effort because it will be a big item for just one city to do that research. But if we can do it together, then our city really wants to do that, but the staff kept on saying it's a big item, it's a big study item, so if we could.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
together
just
we can-
have to find that. We had it when we did the study session like a year ago, I
For
think.
the gun,
Safe storage.
safe storage.
Yes.
I'm like thinking of a box in my head and I couldn't get the
Yeah.
words out. Safe
Oh,
storage, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a list of like 14 different gun ordinances that some cities have passed, some haven't. So trying to get, all the cities on the same page as many of those as possible was my thought on
That would be
this
great.
item. Like we were doing next week, in 2 weeks, we'll be doing restricting home sales. So right now, we allow people to not sell guns, but they're kind of like brokers, I guess. And they're allowed to do that out of their homes, but we're gonna be banning that.
Does that circumvent all those laws? Like if you buy a gun at a gun show, there's like
No,
background
they,
checks and stuff?
they do full
Yeah.
background checks. The question is
It's
it
more
Out of
like-
the
for
home?
future or are you banning it for existing businesses?
We're gonna talk about grandfathering.
That's what. I
And
think that's the
then-
legal question.
And then the other one is the 250 feet from sensitive areas. Some folks, all of us, look at a. That one has. So, yeah, so that would be for gun, and then mental health is the last item.
For mental health, one suggestion I can make, I am not looking into the county thing, but the NAMI current president is Saratoga resident. So if I can, interested, I can generally ask him, he talks a lot, even in Sacramento, he's very engaged. And Wick, the former, former Palo Alto mayor, council member about 20 years ago.
Oh, Vicky
He's been-
Odekian,
Yes, he's been leading,
Mhm.
the suicide prevention policy, which he reached out to each city. And so on the 21st of September, we are doing in the Happy City, Sunnyvale. They're doing an all-day conference, and Wick had reached out for just for me to be one of the panelists and how each city got. So whatever they want me to, whatever is helping them, I'm not closely involved, but those are two names that come to mind. The NAMI President National Association of People and AMI. VIC, Victor. Victor is the suicide prevention person. He's a past NAMI president, last name O-J-A-K.
Odekian, Vic Odekian.
And the NAMI president is Uday Kapoor. He's the current NAMI president. He's a Saratoga resident. We have been doing phone tag anyway for 2 weeks. So if you're interested, I can just obliquely ask him and then connect him with you. But that's, you know more about this field. I don't know. I'm just two thoughts I have there.
I can't remember who's on, I think, Paul and me, and I forget, there's a few others on the committee, so maybe we'll just send out an email and ask for ideas and then.
Yeah, if whatever, just let me know if I can make you know anyway.
Yeah, just something for next year's e-board, how to engage these committees and our goals more. I think this year we had the JPA that kind of took a lot of our bandwidth. So, for next year, you'll have more.
I think you made tremendous progress this year considering where I've been and.
Yes, I think so too. Yeah.
So back on mental health issues, I'm doing some research and maybe have a couple action items that I'm working on, so I will give you a report later.
Anything else on future topics? Any public hands?
Charlie, quick question. Charlie, do you know yet when the December meeting event will be? Do you have a date for that yet?
I'm trying to do it on our normal meeting date, so I think that's December 14th.
The 14th. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a little check around because there used to be other groups that had holiday parties and we tried to coordinate, so we didn't run into it. So yeah, well, we might want to just do that. So I'll talk with you offline about that. But for now, let's plan on that Thursday. All right, we will move on to item 7, City Managers Association update.
Do not have an update at this time.
And your update.
Yeah. I don't have the list of cities, but about 10 of our cities have already paid their dues.
Oh, wow, that's
Which
fast.
Yeah, that's why I even bring it up. I was like, wow. So I wanted to mention that at our board meeting, I'm not gonna call out any cities by name who haven't paid their dues. I don't like doing that.
How about the bank account issues got resolved?
Okay, so the bank account issues, yeah, so
Yes.
it got resolved, and then what happened was, I was trying to give our bookkeeper shared access so she can view it and upload it directly, whatever she needs to into QuickBooks. She can't do any transactions, but she can view it. And in the process of her becoming a shared access person, she got booted off and I got booted down. I got downgraded, and so I called US Bank and they said that's been happening with the Union Bank account customers. So I'm working on that with her, which is why you don't see financial reports in the September meeting. That's a ever-present thing. But
So now we're 2 months back, 3 months back, and we'll finally do, because we haven't done them for
it'll be a
multiple
few,
months now.
yeah.
Just checking. Okay,
It's very tedious.
understand.
We've been there twice.
And it hasn't, I don't know why, because US Bank is it hasn't been a very smooth transition.
Yeah, the person helping us with
BNA or BAE.
labor trust. US Trust.
US Bank.
US
Oh,
Bank.
US Bank.
Yeah, the person helping us was expressing his frustration. Changeover. Not us.
Yeah. And
Anything else?
is there anything else you want me to report on? In the September meeting? I definitely wanted to thank the cities who paid their dues.
Yes.
But I think that I'm happy to shrink my report down to like, not, if we want more time for the JPA discussion.
Oh, that's great.
Are we sending reminders to the other four, I guess, because Gilroy has left? So it's
Oh,
only
yes.
four more.
So that's what I was gonna say is there are 4 cities who haven't, and I will be following up with them.
I will say this is probably the quickest we've received
Yeah.
payments. Good job, treasurer.
It's the best, easiest treasurer's job. Not in the minutes, right?
But we're still streaming live.
All right. Anything else for executive director? Any questions, comments from the public? No hands?
No hands.
Okay. If not, if there's nothing else, we will adjourn at 2:25. Thank you so much. Everyone have a great Labor Day weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Thank
Andrew.
you.
Andrew.
Yeah, and Margaret, I actually found a useful webpage from the Giffords Law Center about local gun regulations in California. I'll send it your way.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, and it's pretty useful